Okay, so thank you very much for coming. And today, welcome to, I guess, a new sessions, and we'll be together for this week and next week. Okay, so let me ask you, which department are you from? IEL. Yes. Is there anyone else from another department? Oh, so these are IEL. Okay, so welcome IEL guys. Okay, thank you for choosing IEL too. Okay, because I want to make sure that you guys are happy. Okay. All right. So my name is Pisutha-Arnond. I worked at Industrial Engineering Department, but today I'm actually not going to teaching anything related to industrial engineer. Today I'm going to teach you about something that I'm very passionate about. It's writing software. You mean, although I write software a lot, but the application for software can also be used in industrial engineer settings. So it's not totally unrelated. But today you will be writing web application to be more specific. Okay. You can access this information by going to the link on the top right. Okay, so once you turn on the computer, please sign into your login CMU, and then you can access this lecture right here. Today we're going to cover the topic number 1, which is web applications. Okay. All right, let's go. All right. Okay, so today you will be using the web technology called HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so the first three, I guess the first two, I forgot the comma. So the first 3 words, and then React will be next time. Okay, I just want to see the hand who has done some amount of HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. Can I maybe see your hand so that if you are really good at it, I won't bother you as much? Okay, so maybe you're new. If you're new, then yes, welcome. Okay, all right. So when I tell you that I write software, I have to tell you that there are many types of software that you use nowadays. What I'm going to teach you today is called web application, which when I talked about software in this context, I mean the software that you actually run like directly on your computer, which is going to be different from the web application. All right, so I will try to distinguish between web application, the things that you're going to work on today, and the software. Okay. All right. So what I mean by the software, okay, this is not something that we're going to do today. What I mean by software is the application that run on your operating system. You are using Windows. There are many software that you use. Microsoft Office would be one of them. Web browser, another one. A lot of things that you use, right? So this software runs directly on the operating system, meaning that they are connected directly. They can use the resource, on your machine in a more direct way. Okay. The downside of developing this type of software is that they are very specific to the operating systems. You probably is gonna run into this situation, right? You buy some software that are written for Windows. The same software cannot be used on Mac, for example. You have to buy another software. So they have to create the version for the Windows, the version for the Mac, and probably another version for the Android and iOS, right? And this is because operating systems have different technology. If you want to write things for Windows, you have to use the technology called C#. It's just another language. If you want to write software for Mac OS, you have to use Swift. And if you want to write for Android, use Kotlin. If you want to write for Linux, you use C++, right? So as you imagine, maybe you come up with a great idea. But if you want your software to be used by many users, you have to develop the same software from a different technology. And that is really expensive. Okay, that's super expensive. Okay. So in contrast, what you are going to work on today is called web application. Okay. So the web application is technically a software but it doesn't run directly on your operating system, right? It runs on web browser. I'm sure you are very familiar with web browser, like Chrome, Edge, Safari, and even the web browser on your on mobile devices, right? So this software actually does not talk to the system directly, right? Because it runs on the web browser, so it talks to the web browser first, and then the web browser talks to the system. So there is an extra layer between the software, the web application, and the underlying resources. So technically, in terms of performance, it will be less desirable, like inferior to the software on the previous page, because it has extra layer of complexity, right? But the huge benefit that you gain from writing web application is that you just write it once, and then it runs everywhere. Because web browser, despite the fact that it is Safari, Chrome, or Edge, or anything that run on different devices, they all use the same underlying technology called HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And that is the huge benefit because you write the software using this technology, I would say web application using this technology, and it just runs everywhere on all devices, be it the Windows machine, Mac machine, mobile machine, tablet, Android, anything. Even the edge devices like Raspberry Pi, it can run your web application because all the web browser uses the same technology, which are in this picture, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, and that's why you are going to see the movement toward the fact that all the new software that comes out tend to be, if it can, written to be a web application. Okay, an easy example would be Canva, right? When I was young, when I was a student, I have to use PowerPoint, right? That's a software that you have to install on your computer. But nowadays, nobody uses PowerPoint. They use Canva. Canva is another software, but it actually runs on web browsers. And they just develop Canva, just one code base. And it runs everywhere because every computer, every device has web browser. Another thing is the Adobe products, right? When I was young, if I want to do graphic design, I use Illustrator. That's expensive, and then you have to install on your computer. Nowadays, everybody uses Figma. It's another hugely popular design application and also available on the web. That's another web application. Okay, so I mean, if it can't, I feel like all the software that are being created today will tend to be on web browser because of the fact that you only need one code base for all the devices. This is a huge benefit. Okay, and that's what we're going to do today. And you are going to get your hands dirty and even going to publish your awesome works onto the public to show off to your friends and your family. Okay. So first, in order to do that, we need to write the software on the text editor. And the text editor of choice is called VS Code. Okay. On your computer, it should all be installed. So why don't you find it and open it. I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to search for VS. And you should see this icon pop up. And why don't we click on it? Again, if you already know all of this, let me know. I will bother you less. Okay. Okay, you got it? If you cannot find it, let me know. You need to ask for help because I'm here. I cannot see your screen. Okay, can you find it? Okay, if you can find it, great. One step down. Okay. The next step is that we are going to create a project. To be more specific, it should be called workspace. Okay, that's a fancy word for folder. Okay, so why don't we go to your desktop and let's create a folder. That should be where your work is going to be at. You'll be located. Oh, sorry, I need to take this call. I will be back very, very soon. Okay, where am I? So we are going to create a new folder. So let's do that here. And we'll just call it web or something. Just call it something random, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open VS Code and I put it next to your folder. And you can drag the folder in like this. Okay? If you drag it in and then you let the mouse go, then it should set your workspace to that folder. Okay? The way that you can notice easily is to see that if you go to this bar right here, this is called Explorer bar. It should have the same name as your folder. So my folder is called Web, and then this is the same name as you can imagine, right? So like that, same thing. Okay. If you want to exit, so right now our workspace is situated at that particular folder. If you want to exit, then you can create file, and then you can close the folder. Okay, so that's another way to exit this workspace. If I close folder, then I'm not in any particular location. Okay? And then I can drag it in one more time to center my workspace at this folder. Okay, so just make sure that you are actually on the right location before we get started. Good job. Okay. Okay. Please let me know if you have run into any problems. Okay. I'll walk down at some point, but right now I want to just go through some of the initial setup first. Okay. Okay. All right. So next step, we are going to learn about HTML. Okay. So there are three things that you're going to do today: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. So first step, HTML. What is it? Okay. HTML is called the hypertext markup language. Okay. It's the language. All right. It has some syntax that you need to follow, but it's not the programming language. It's not Python. It's not, I don't know, JavaScript and something like that, right? It cannot do calculation. It only tells the web browser what to display. The word markup meaning just to display something, okay? So again, it's designed to be display stuff on your web browser, okay? Right now, if you use HTML, it's gonna look really, really outdated, okay? And we can style that up using another technology called the Cascade Style Sheet or CSS, which will come in the next section, okay? So when I talk about HTML, specifically, I mean that it's going to be a file on your computer that has some codes on it. And in that code, you got to have a way of writing things. And the basic building blocks for writing HTML code is to write HTML element, okay? So HTML element is the directive for telling web browser to display something in a certain way. And the way that we begin your elements is to use this particular notation. It's called tag, T-A-G, okay? So, for example, if I see a symbol like this, I would call this a P tag. Notice that I call it P because it has a letter P in it, surrounded with that braces, okay? This particular symbol or set of symbol, I call it the opening tag because there is going to be the other one that's closed it, okay? The closing tag is similar with an extra forward slash in it, okay? And together with these two opening and close tag, it's telling the browser that whatever happening in between, please display this one as a paragraph. Hence the word P called the paragraph. And you're going to see that it's going to display this particular text in a certain way, in a paragraph way. Okay? There are many types of HTML elements that you can use, and you will use quite a few today. Okay? And that is the only thing you need to know. Actually, it's pretty easy. Okay? In addition, we'll use this one a little bit, is that in addition to the I guess the peer notation, which is the letter followed by the brackets, right? You can also input additional information like this one. You can see that whatever I just enclosing this is actually inside the brackets, okay? So this is called attributes, okay? It's an extra information about this particular HTML element, okay? We will use this a little bit, okay? But I just want to let you know that there is attribute part of your opening tag. So the attribute live in the opening parts, okay? And the last one that you should know before we go with the code is that there are certain HTML elements that does not require the closing tag. For example, this whole thing is called the image tag. You know, the word img, it comes from image. As you can imagine, this one display image, okay? This one is different from the one that you have seen previously because there is only one set of symbol, which is the type of the tag itself and the opening, I guess, the enclosing brackets. And as you can see that in addition to that, there is already a / in here. So the whole thing is the opening and closing tag combined together. It's called self-closing, okay? This is because in image tag, you don't need anything between. There's no content. You just want image. So that's why it's designed this way. Okay, you don't need to understand anything. Just be aware. Just be aware that some tags require opening and closing with something in between. Some tags, for example, image, does not require anything in between. You just open and close by itself. That's called the self-closing tag. Okay, that's all you need to know in order to build the very cool website today. Okay, and that's it. Very easy. Okay, so let's go. Okay, just want you to let you know that if you want to type everything in, you have to follow some structure like this. This is called HTML documents. But luckily, VS Code, the program that you just opened, it has a very helper option for you to create this thing automatically. So you can do something like this. Okay, so we're gonna go into VS Code. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to create a new file. Okay, so can you help me do this? Do you see this icon over here? This icon is called create new file. So if I click on it, I can type in the name of the file. So I'm going to type index.html and then enter. Okay, so what you want is create a new file called index.html. Okay, if you have learned just a little bit about web technology, you will come across this name, index.html. It's the entry point into every website that you go to today. It goes through this file with this name, index.html. Okay? Just be careful. If you click at this one, this is not the file. This is the folder. Okay? Make the file, not this one. Use the file. Okay? All right? And one more thing. You can type in here. Right? Once you click on the file name, then the tab opens and you can start typing some code. Although, I mean, you don't have to type anything. You just do this. You press exclamation, which is shift and number 1, and then you press tab. And then it automatically creates the HTML documents for you. Okay? Let me do that one more time. Okay, I'm going to delete everything, all right? I'm hitting exclamation and tab. Tab is the key above the cap locks on your left. See, that thing come up magically. Is that cool? One more time, for those who still confused or super surprised by this, exclamation and tab. Wow, that is very, very cool. And I'm being serious. All right, let me see if you got everything correctly up to this point. Oh, one more thing. For those who got this, if you see this right here, that means you have not saved the file. So remember, this is not Microsoft Word on OneDrive where everything is auto-saved. Nope, this thing is coding. If you don't save, it don't get, the change will not get propagated. Okay, so if you want to save, file and saved. If you saved it, then you can see that the dots goes away. So that means that your file is good. If you make any change, let's see if I just hit spacebar, the dot comes up. That means that I need to save if I want to see my change in effect. Okay? But after a while, you will get tired of doing this. File, save, make some change, file, save. This is get tedious in no time. So a better way would be to use a keyboard shortcut. It's going to be Control S. Okay, if I were to make some change like spacebar like this, I can do Control S. I use the left control because it's closer to the S, the S key, right? And it automatically saved. Okay, so I mean, in my generation, if you type your work in Microsoft Word, you have to actually save it. Like there's no autosave feature. So in my generation, Control S is something that we really get used to. But for you guys, probably not, because you grow up in a situation where everything is auto-saved, right? Okay, so I want everyone at least to get up to this point. So let me go around and see if anybody needs some help. Okay, so I'm going to type something between the body tag, just to make sure that I see something on screen when I open this one on the web browser. Okay, and saved. Okay, make this your muscle memory. Control S. This is really quick, much quicker than the mouse. Okay, if you get something like this, you're ready to open it. Okay, in order to open, you're going to right-click on the file, and you are going to select this particular option, Open with Live Server. And you're going to see something magical happen. And I'm being very exaggerated. Okay, let me click it for you. Right-click, Open with Live Server, and suddenly the new web page open, right? And what's on screen is what I just typed between my body tag. Okay? What I usually do is I put this one side by side like this. Okay? So that if I were to do this, if I make a change, right, and I hit saved, you can see that things get updated automatically. You see this? This is the behavior that I want you to have before we go on. You need to be able to change something, hit Control S, and suddenly things change. This one will make the process of writing code much, much faster. Okay? Okay, I change something, I hit Control S, it changes. Okay? All right, so let's begin our first HTML coding. Okay? I want you to take a look at this one. What is this? This is called document, right? This is not right. I want to change this. Where do I change this? This one, leave in this particular part right here. It's called title tag. Remember that I told you that everything, almost everything in HTML is the TAG tag. The tag that tells the web browser to display the title is, unsurprisingly called title tag, right? Why don't we change it to be my cool website? And once you hit saved, you're going to see, not this one, but this one. See, it already changes. That's the title. So in fact, I want you to take a look at this because the HTML tag can be nested in one another. So if I were to collapse this, you're going to see that actually the whole thing is HTML tag. Like this is the main, I guess the main entry point to the HTML document, right? Inside there is header tag. It's called head tag. And then the body tag, right? And in the head tag, there is the title tag. Okay, so the title tag is what determines your title on the tab on your web browser, but it lives inside the head tag, and the head tag lives inside HTML tag. Okay, so it's the hierarchical structure. Okay, next thing is that the body tag. The body tag is contain the content on your screen itself. As you might notice that whatever I type in here, it displays here, right? But this is not how we want to write HTML because we want to write in a tag because that tells the web browser to display it in a certain behavior. For example, if I were to do this bracket h1 closing bracket, this is called h1 tag. Notice that VS Code is very smart, right? Notice that I did not type the whole thing, right? I just type a little bit and it auto-completes for me. Check this one out. Bracket, H1, closing bracket. And right away, it creates the closing tags for me. Because it already knows what I want to do. So why not? So that's another thing nice about using editor like this instead of just Notepad, for example. Okay? So this is going to be your header. So welcome to my website. Wow! Check this one out. As you can see that once you start using HTML tag, then you can control the behavior of your content on the website. Right? This one is called header, meaning the big font, the bold fonts, something like that. Okay? Next up, it's going to be the paragraph tag, P. Okay? So open bracket, P, closing bracket. You can see that it automatically creates the closing tag for me because it already know my thoughts, right? So my name is Niran. Okay, as you can imagine that today we're not going to create Canva. You know, we're not going to create Figma. We're going to create personal website because that's more fun, right? Okay. So next up, what should I do? Maybe I should tell you more about myself. Let's check out this one, H2. And this one is going to be my favorite food. Okay. As you might have guessed, this one is the header level 2, a bit smaller. You can go down to, I guess you can go up, right? You can go up the number until level 6. So there's H1, H2 until H6. Okay, so. Okay, here, I can just type in the paragraph text, but you know, if I have a list of something, might as well just use the list element, right? So this is gonna be opening bracket, UL. Okay, UL is the unordered list. Okay, so when you want to write some list, then you start with UL. Okay, and inside the UL, maybe you can make some line, some blank line like this. There's going to be another tag called the list itself. It's going to be called LI. Okay, and you can write your list in here. For example, I like pizza. See? Once I saved it, you should see that I have the dots in front, and that's something that the HTML tag tells the web browser to display. I can add more things that I like, li, okay? And then I like rice. As you can imagine, you can keep adding more lists onto your list. Okay, so one thing that you're going to notice is HTML is quite lenient, meaning that if I were to miss this, it still displays, well, I guess I didn't miss it, but if I were to type something wrong, it's actually going to do something with it, right? It doesn't yell at, it yell at you on your editor, but it's actually going to display something on the screen, right? Although it might be better if you cannot fix it, you can call me. I'm very good at fixing code. Okay, so most of the mistakes that I found is the matching brackets or the matching tag, like opening and closing. So for example, for this one, I need li, right? And then I need to have a closing li, something like that. So that is something that people usually miss. So if you get confused, you can let me know, and I can fix your code for you. Okay, let's continue a little bit more, because this one looks boring. So why don't we do another one? Okay, I'm going to do H3. You can do H whatever until H6, okay? This one is going to be my pet. I want to show off my pet. Okay, and if you want to describe your pet, feel free to do so. You can create a paragraph tag, P, and then I have a dog or something, you can do that, right? But would it be more fun to actually attach the picture of your pet, right? Picture, say 1,000 words, right? So let's do that. I'm going to go back to my website, web browser, create another tab, and I recommend going to this website first, Pexels. This one. You can go to other website later, but for now, to make sure that everything works, then let's go to this one. Okay, Pexel. And why don't we find the nice picture of your pet? Let's say I have a dog. Then I want to find a nice dog guy for me. Maybe this guy looks nice. I want to put his face on my website. Okay, so let's do this together. So find the picture that you like, click on it until you have a setup like this. So something on top as the overlay, right? And can you right click on the image, and you're gonna select this particular one, copy image link, okay? So make sure you choose the right option, okay? Copy image link, okay? Don't copy image, okay? Image link, okay? Done, right? Next up, we're gonna go back to our VS Code, right? And maybe below my description, I can say img. And if you recall, img is the image tag, but this one is a little special. This one actually self-closing, meaning that you can put the / and then the enclosing bracket right away. This one does not have the separate open and close. This one is self-closing, meaning you can do this, and you just need one, and it's enough, right? And inside, we're going to put in the attribute, the extra information called src. Source. Source is the information that tells this one where to load the image from. And that is going to be inside the double quotation or rat teeth, ฟันหนู, right? Double quotation. And inside here, can you paste whatever you just copy from that Pexel website, Control V. It's going to be quite a long link, but if you do it correctly, your link should end with JPEG. Okay, so if it doesn't work, it's probably because you copied the wrong link. The link should end with JPEG. Okay? And once you save, you're going to see something cool on your website. Ta-da! Wow. Where is my dog? My dog? Wow. That's my dog. That's my nose. Okay? Is that pretty cool? Okay. This is way too big. Although it's pretty cool, right? It's way too big. So we need to constrain the size of the image a little bit. Okay? In order to do that, I'm going to go back to my VS Code, right? And I'm going to make one more space after it, like this. Okay? And I'm going to input another attributes or information called width. Okay? Equal inside the double quotation. It's going to be about 300 pixels. You can change the size to however you want, but you need to constrain the width or else it's going to blow up like what just happened. Okay, let me show you what happened if I saved it. It will look much better. Yay! Right? Okay. Okay. I will walk through. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Okay. What else can we do? I want to show you that actually there are certain elements that can be interactive. For example, if maybe I have another section, H3, maybe, right? I can say contact me. Usually when you have website, maybe you want to have people contact you with something, right? Let me show you this one. If I say input, okay, so this one is a little special. Input. Okay, I want you to see what happened on your screen. You see what I see? See? There is something that you can actually type. Okay, which I mean you use this all the time, right? But yeah, that's the text input. Okay, and one more thing, just kind of play around, right? You can say button, as you might have guessed. If you write something like this, then you can also have the button that clickable, but it doesn't do anything yet. Okay, but I guess if you want to write a web application for real, then this type of user input is really, really important, right? There are many type of user input tags, like drop-down menu, text will be one of them, radio buttons, select box, a bunch of them, and date select, calendar, and things like that. Okay. So a lot of things you can do with just the pure HTML. Although right now it's not doing anything. That part needs to be taken care by JavaScript. Okay. Okay. I will end this for HTML parts. Okay. The next step that we can do is to fix this, because this one looks very outdated. This one looks like the website that just come up when the internet was first born, like 1990 or something. The website always looked like this, okay, 30 years ago. But now it looks more modern because of another technology called CSS. Okay, so let's check it out. This guy right here. this one, okay? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet, which doesn't mean anything to you, I'm sure, okay? It almost doesn't mean anything to me for a long time, so don't worry, okay? But just think about it as another language, but this one is for presentation. Essentially, CSS will make your website look more modern, looks more like 2025, not 1990, okay? Again, it's not a programming language, okay? It's only the markup language, but it's very, very powerful, okay? But again, also very easy to use, okay? Let's do CSS, shall we? First, I would like you to help me with this. I'm gonna go back to my VS Code, okay? And I'm going to create another file called style.css. Okay? This one and this one. Please. Next stop, I want you to go back to your index.html and go up until you are between the head tag. Okay? Between the head tag meaning that it's anywhere in here. It can be here, it can be here, doesn't matter, as long as it's between the head tag. Okay? Usually I just put it here. Okay? The code that you want to type is called link. Okay, it's a link tag. So opening, link. And you know what? It's kind of funny. I do this for a long time, but I still don't remember because I always copy and paste from AI. So that's why I have to look it up. That's the bad part about using AI too much. You don't remember typing yourself. Okay, it's a link with the self-closing. Okay. And you're going to type REL. Okay, relationship with, in the double quote, right, style sheet. Okay, please type it correctly, like that, exactly. And then, where is this file? Is href, okay, equal style.css. Wow, that's a lot of typing. Okay, make sure you got this one right, okay? Or let me tell you the secret. If you go to my website, this one, you can copy the code. Wow, is that better? If you go to my website, you can just copy it like this and paste. Also, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I do it all the time, right? But the bad thing about this is that when I have to type it myself, I don't remember because I always copy and paste. Okay, once you did that, you're almost done, okay? So, I'm gonna go to my style.css, okay? So if you do this correctly, this is going to link this file. Up, not this one. You're going to link this file. Wait, what happened? It doesn't work. Whoop. Whoa, okay, hold on, let me fix this one real quick. My annotation stopped working. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't work. Yeah. We are link this one to this one. As you can see that it has to be the same. If it's not the same, it doesn't work. Okay? This means that if you create a new file with a different name, you gotta fix it over there. They have to match. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to my style.css. Just help me type one thing. Body. with the lowercase, right? Inside the brackets, type background color. And as you can see that VS Code is smart enough to help you with the auto is intelligent, right? If I just type back, it kind of suggests me what I can type, right? I select background color, I hit tab to autocomplete, right? And then I just type like red. Remember there is going to be the semicolon at the end, like this. If you do this correctly, everything's correct, you should see something super ugly on your website like this. And that means that it's working. Okay, so I want you to make sure that you can do something like this. Okay, background colors. Okay, so in summary, before I go to see your screen, you need to add this and then add this. Okay. Okay. Since you made it work, now let's understand what you did, what just happened. Okay. This is exactly what the CSS syntax is. Okay. So the anatomy of the CSS is selector. So you can see that there is going to be a letter, something here. This is called selector, meaning you are selecting an HTML tag, something that you want to design or style it. Okay? For example, if I type P as my selector, it means that it's going to target all the P tags on my website. And whatever you want to do with it, it goes inside these curly braces. That's all, right? As you can imagine, color red, meaning that everything inside the P tag will get the color red on my website. Okay? That's it. Okay, so these are the selector and the properties and the value. Okay? So if I go back here, what just happened, right? With the same information. This is the selector. I'm selecting the body tag. Where is my body tag? Check this out. Your body tag is here. That means that you are selecting the whole page. And you want the whole page to have background color to be red. Okay? So that's what it is. So let's change things to make things a little more appropriate, shall we? So I'm gonna put this one right here, and maybe red is too strong, so I want to make it light gray. Much better, right? Maybe a little darker, right? Should be fine. So that's it. That's what I want, right? But this is not all you can do. You can do a lot more, actually. Okay, so let's do something more, right? Another thing that I can do is maybe I show you something else. Okay. What about the other tag, right? You can select other tags. For example, if I would do H1, this is the selector. So I'm selecting all the H1 tags on my page, and I want to style it. So put it something between your curly braces, right? And again, you can do color, right? And I'm going to do maybe blue. And right off the bat, right, you're going to see that right now, the H1 tag is blue, okay? Maybe I want to style something with my P tag, or maybe I'll H2 first, okay? Because I remember that the second level title, it's haven't been styled yet, so obviously color, maybe green. You see that? Although not appropriate right now, but yes, you can do something like this, okay? You can even do something with this, P. Right, P, you want to do color, brown. There's many color, okay? You can just type it in. Or if you want to be more specific, then you can use the color picker to make it, nicer, like that, okay? So usually right now the trend is more like it's more clean. You want to be more clean, then you don't want the color to be too bright. You want the color to be muted. Okay, so for now, I'm gonna just make things a little more appropriate. Okay, so usually you want color to be the same. So for the header, so what I can do is, instead of writing something like this, it's kind of redundant, right? I want to delete it, but I want to do this: h1, comma h2, comma h3. As you can imagine, this one actually select 3 things at once. So now all of my header is all blue. Usually you want the header to have the same color, right? It looks kind of weird if they have the different colors, right? Okay, and probably I don't want my text to be brown. It's kind of, I don't even want this. Okay, I will show you something more, I guess more appropriate. Okay. Okay. Usually when you have your website, you want to control the fonts and the size first. Okay. So right now, let me make sure that I have my zoom back to 100. So this is actually the original zoom level. Okay. If I want my font size to be larger for some reason, I can say font size. Okay. And you can put in your, it's called pixel value, right? For example, like 16 px. Okay, 16 pixel is the standard value. So if you put 16 pixel, it's going to look the same. But you can certainly do something like this, 20. It's a little bigger, right? 24. Okay. But usually when you do font size, it's not recommended to put in the number like this. Usually, I would recommend putting something like this, 1 rem. Rem. Rem is called the relative measure. Okay, 1 rem is the standard size. If you want your fonts to be a little bigger, maybe 25%, you do 1.25. That's actually better in terms of your design, because you can say that I want my font to be 10% more than the original size. I think that's a better way to do. And this one is going to translate well into multiple devices. Okay? Or in the other way, you can say that you want your font size to be 90% of the original size. You can do 0.9 rem, something like that. Okay? This is much better than the I guess the value specification. Okay, so let's do 1.2, make it a little bigger. And how about font? The font type itself, you can do font family. Okay, and now you have some choice, right? You can just look through it. Maybe something that looks more modern, maybe Arial would be my go-to choice. And you see right away, it changes. Okay. You can kind of experiment with different ones by kind of delete it, go back, and now it's going to suggest you more, right? So choose something different, I would say. Okay. Okay. Next up, now I want to control the layout of my website a little bit. Right now, it's too close to the edge. Okay, I want my website to be a little bit further to the right. I can do something like this. I can do margin. Okay, and I can do this. The number is gonna be 4 number. Actually, it's gonna be 2 number first. If I say 1 rem. And then 1 rem. Let's see what happened here. Okay. So margin is going to be like this. This one is going to be top bottom. This one is going to be left and right. So if I were to do this, just to show you, okay, I want to do border. Okay. You don't have to do this, but I will show you for illustrative purpose, right? I'll do 1 solid, 1 px solid red. Okay. And you can see that I'm drawing the border so that you can see what happened, okay? So if I say margin to be 2 rem, what happened is that, actually I'll do 2 and 0, okay? You can see that 2 rem is actually the space here and then space below, okay? If I increase this to be maybe 4, you can see that my website actually pushes back, right? Pushes down, not back, down, below. Okay? So that's what margin is. Margin is the space between your bounding box and whatever outside. So right now I'm defining that my whole website should have some space on top. That's what it is. Okay? But in reality, you would not have this box, right? I would just turn it off. But right now, just for illustrative purpose, I'll turn it on. Okay. Maybe 4 rem would be too much. I would say like maybe 2. 2 is enough. Okay. Maybe 1. Actually, 1 is okay. Okay. Then I can also do left and right. Okay. Maybe I want my website content to push to the right a little bit. Then I would say maybe 2. And you can see that it has some space from the left edge of the windows. Okay. And another thing I can do is that I can also constrain the size of my website. So right now, if I were to expand this window, you can see that actually my bounding box actually go all the way to the right, right? But it doesn't have to be this way. I can also do this. I can also make it so that my width, okay, the width of the body tag is going to be, I would say 80%, 0.8 viewport width. Okay, VW is the viewport width, meaning that it's 80% of the window width. Okay, let me show you this one. Actually, sorry, not 0.8, 80% of viewport width. Okay, so right now it's going to scale with my window size. See, like this. It's going to be 80% of my window size. That's what 80 viewport width is going to do. Okay, and another thing that I want is that actually, if I have my website that is kind of like a little bit smaller than the window size, I want to center it, in the center. That's what people usually do. I'm going to make this one into auto. Auto meaning that make it so that it's center between left and right, meaning leave the margin left and right to be equal automatically. So right now, if I were to make it a little more extreme, you will see the difference. If I say like 50 viewport width, that means that my website is going to always be center, no matter how big my windows is. Okay, something like that. So just to make it a little bit kind of appropriate, I would just say maybe like 90. So it's a little bit smaller than the window size, but and then it also leaves some left and right margin to be equal, something like that. Okay, and I'm gonna stop my border now so that you don't see it. So right away you can see that it has some. People usually call it breathing space because it has some space between the windows, something like that. Okay. I did go quite fast. CSS, you can learn it for many hours. Okay, but I'm just gonna go through the process of design the layout of your website, right? Okay, and maybe we can work a little bit more on the color, because usually nowadays it's very nice to have the color to be a little bit muted. So I can do something like this, color, and I want to make everything maybe gray, right? But maybe not too gray because it's hard to read. But I want to make it not too black, but almost black. So that's something that you can do. Okay, nowadays usually we like the muted color. So blue is not the bright blue, and then black is not completely black, but a little bit more muted. Okay? Another cool thing you can do is image. Nowadays, nothing is sharp anymore. As you can imagine, if you go to all the website, you're going to see the corner of the image is going to be rounded. See this? Rounded corner. Everywhere is rounded corner. We got to have rounded corner too, because it looks nicer. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I'm going to come back here. and I'm going to target my image, okay, like this. And I can do something like this, border radius. Okay, again, I never type the full thing. I just type a little bit and auto-completes. And that's why I never remember anything. I just auto-complete my way through. Okay, 1 REM. See, that looks much better. Again, I use the unit REM because it's relative to the default. Okay, so 1 REM meaning that the default radius. If you want to make the radius a little bit more prominent, protrude, then you can do 2 rem. See, it's more rounded. And if you want to go more extreme, if you make it really, really large, then what happens? It becomes rounded. See? Actually, this is the most I can do. But if you have a rectangular image, you can make the circle, like an avatar, like a circle surrounding your image, like this, with the border radius too. Okay, that's too much. I'll just do 2 rem, like that. Okay? Okay, so let's assume that this is so cool, right? The best thing ever happened on the internet, right? This is not enough because now my website is very static. It doesn't interact with the user. So let's make something more interactive. And in order to do that, you need the third technology, JavaScript. Let's go. Okay. What is JavaScript? Okay, JavaScript is a programming language. So at last, we are using the programming language. The past 2 things that we learned is not a programming language. It's just a markup language. This one, you can actually use it to do all kind of things, including calculations. Okay, it has variable, it has data structures, it has a bunch of things that you can do, okay? And usually people use it to make the content more dynamic, like updating, animation, interactive stuff, audio, video, and all kind of things, like up to the point where you use Canva. The Canva is also powered by JavaScript, but also another more technology because it's actually quite heavy computationally, okay? But JavaScript is the guy for you, okay? So, first, I want you to help me add some JavaScript onto your websites, okay? And this is a good time. If you haven't done so, just use my lecture, copy and paste. Okay? No need to type it in, okay? So I'm going to go to my page 31. Can you copy stuff on my page 31 like this? Copy. And then we're going to paste it in your website, so index.html. Paste it between the head tag again. Head tag anywhere is okay. You should just put it right here. There you go. Anywhere in the head tag, it's okay. Like this. Okay, don't forget to save it, okay, like this. Next up, we're going to create a file called script.js. Let's do that. Here, script.js. Okay, this file and this guy right here. Again, make sure that your spelling is right. It's exactly like this. Okay, and once you did that, help me with typing. Now, this is the programming language, so you have to type it correctly. You make mistakes, it won't work. Okay? It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna, destroy your computer or anything, but it won't work. Okay? So I want you to type alert. Okay? In here, there's gonna be double quotation and hello world. I mean, in the spirit of writing any programming language for the first time, you always gonna write hello world, right? Again, I'll tell you my secret. This code is actually on the page 32 in my slide. I mean, if you have access to my slide, you just copy page 32, right? Okay. Again, if you did everything correctly, including the link tag and the script file and the code, if you go back to your website, it should do something like this, meaning that it should display a pop-up every time you refresh the page. See? Every time you refresh, it's gonna have this pop-up that says hello world. You get that behavior? That means you did the right thing. Okay, so let me see the people. Okay, so in the spirit of time and also the content, so you can go, way in depth in learning JavaScript. It's like the whole course, basically. So we're gonna do this in a more, faster way, meaning we're gonna copy and paste a lot. Okay, so first, if you haven't have access to my website, please do so because you need it. You don't want to type this thing from now on. It's too much. Okay, this is my website. So go to this one, and then I recommend that you open the HTML version. Okay, so right now if you go to my web, right, there's going to be two versions. The version with HTML is actually better. The PDF version is harder to copy. Okay, so recommend click HTML. That one easy to copy and paste. Okay, from now on you're not going to type it. It's way too much. Okay. Okay, so make sure you have access to my content. And here we go. Okay, first we're going to go to page number 33. Okay, and we're going to input two things into our code. The first one being the button. Okay, you copy this one. Okay, copy. And go back to the code and find the location anywhere actually, but if you already have buttons in here, maybe you can replace it. Okay? Because I already have buttons in here. I'm gonna replace them with my new button, so that I don't have too many buttons on my page. But if you don't have buttons, just add it somewhere at the bottom maybe. Doesn't really matter. Okay, just to make it less confusing, I'm gonna delete my input too, because just wanna make sure that it's just only this thing that can be interactive. Okay, so the button go into your index.html. Next up, this one go into your script.js. Let's go. And I recommend that you delete this one because this one is too annoying. Like, you don't want to be seeing that pop up every time you come up to the website. Like, nobody wants that. So delete them, replace with something new, and see what happens once you click the button. Meaning that you have to save it too, right? Saved it, and check out your new interactive website. Click me. Click, click, click. See? Wow. That's magic. Wow. See that? That's so cool. You're not impressed? And if you want it to go away, you can just refresh and then it will come back. If you refresh, then everything kind of reset and then you can click again. That is the coolest thing I have ever seen. Okay, first make it work, and then I'll explain what just happened, okay? Without going too much detail about how this thing works, I want you to get the feeling of the code. Okay? That's the essence. Okay? So right now, what just happened? Okay, let me inspect this thing a little bit. Okay? So first, if you see anything with function, I guess you don't learn Python yet. So if anybody know anything about the programming language, there's a concept for function. Function is the block of code that gets fired whenever it gets called. So right now, this function is waiting to be called. Okay? So the first thing that will happen is actually the line number 7 and 8. This one will get executed once you open the website. Okay? What is this doing? It's saying that first I want to get element by ID. And what is that ID? It's called btn. This is exactly why when you copy the button, you see this ID right here. There's an ID called button, which means that I want to target this button. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, and next, what I want to do is I want to add event listener. Event listener is more like adding the response to the action. What is this action? Is click. So you click at the button, and what does it do? It fired this new function called create paragraph, and that is exactly what gets written up here. So up here, this is the same thing, create paragraph. It gets fired this thing. And as you can see that this paragraph, let me see, it's kind of too small. Okay, like this. You can see that this one is creating a new element called the p tag, and then put this words onto the p tag, and then append it to the child. Okay, so you can test with this. If you just write something, if you just change this one to be like this, and you can test whether actually it changes on your websites or not. Right now, I just change it to be this number, and if I go back and click now, it changes. So as you can imagine, something like that. So try it. It feels more empowering if you can make a change. Okay. Okay. So first, try making some change to this text. Okay. Okay. Next up, let's do something even more fun. Okay. Let's change this one to be DBL, click. Okay. Instead of just a click, this is called double click. What happened is that right now, if you go back to your website and you click, it doesn't work, but you have to double click. That's what it is. Okay. This one called DBL click, meaning it's double click. So change two things for me, please, and see if it works on your website. All right. There are many events that you can subscribe to. It's actually tons of it. Okay. Okay. Once you're done, let's do the last example for today. Is that cool? Almost done. The last example is going to be example number 3. Okay. Again, if you don't have this one already, please put it in. If not, if you already did example 2, you don't have to put this button in because you already did, right? But I want you to do this. So this one is kind of fun, okay? This one, and you can even just replace the whole thing by the new code. Just replace the whole thing and see what happens. Okay, because I already have my button, so I don't need to insert another button, right? It's already there. But just add in the new code from page number 34, which is the second box, and see what happens. It's kind of fun. Okay, for the non-Thai student, this one is a dirty joke. That's all. Okay, but feel free to change this thing. This one can be anything, so make it your own, personalize it, please. Okay, but what should happen for you is that If you move your mouse over the button, the pop-up should comes up saying whatever you put into your code. So let's personalize this by changing this exact thing, this word inside the quotation. Right? And if you notice the code, right, it has an action that's called mouse over. And that's exactly what it's doing. If you put your mouse over the button, you don't even have to click it. It will pop up the alerts. Very good. Pop up the alerts. You don't have to click it, just put the mouse over. That's all. Okay, so that is to the extent of what I want you to do for your website. Okay, you can customize however you want, right? But in the end, though, if it's only in this computer, nobody is going to see your cool website, right? So we want to publish this one to the internet. Although make sure that you don't put your sensitive information onto your website. We are going to put this thing on the public domain. So make sure you don't have sensitive information first. Okay, delete anything you don't want to share first. And we're going to go ahead with the deployment. Okay. In order to do that, can you go to my last page? Okay. This is the last thing before you go today. You're going to show me that you already have your website on the public domain. Okay, go to this website, please. Netlify. Netlify is the website that I used for the past, I don't know, many years to publish everything that I made. So, and I never paid them a single cent. So it's pretty good. Okay, so for you, you should sign up. For me, I just log in. Okay. Sign up. You can sign up with any email you want. Probably it's going to be your personal Gmail would be, I guess, the most convenient. So for me, I'm going to log in because I already signed up a long time ago. Something like that. You can see that I have a lot of things in here, which are, from the last sessions. For okay, so you should be seeing something like this, right? And I want you to click at this area. What? All right. This one. Deploy manually. Click it. And something should happen. Let me see. I don't remember what happened. But what just happened? Can you click? Nothing happened. Oh, you know what? This is not clickable. I was wrong. Actually, I want you to click here. Right? And something should come up. This is one of the sticky points because mine look different. Okay. So if you click here, then you should have a folder selection. Choose the folder like this. Okay, let me show you mine. If I were to do this, I will have, see, mine is different from you. So I should have something like this. Like this, okay? So choose the folder that you had on your desktop. So I go back to my desktop. And remember that I create the folder called web. So you want to select the folder. You don't want to select stuff inside You want to select the folder itself. Okay? And just upload. Folder, upload, and you're done. Like that. Again, mine is different from you guys, so that's why I have to go back and forth. Okay? And if you're done, you should be able to visit your website from link like this. See if it happened. If you got this to work, call me and you can sign in the attendance sheet and you can go. How about that? Okay? That's it. That's all I asked for you today.